Unusual weeks when we're doing an exploration, we look at a 2-week cycle. The first 2 days are building background knowledge, where the kids are presented with either guest lecturers, or we could have a movie festival. The kids really enjoy that. Or we bring someone in to talk about an issue, or even we'll go and do a trip, a local trip perhaps, or we'll go on a field excursion to get interest in and start the formal questioning process, because the kids need some vocabulary and some background ideas to start. At the beginning of an exploration, we will have done a lot of work where we'll have made sheets of questions. So those questions become sort of our guiding principle of what do we really want to find out in this exploration. And we will have one major guiding question. So for example, in Remembrance Day, for example, we just finished a unit on Remembrance Day, not a unit, but an exploration on Remembrance Day. The question was, why is Canada free and how did we get here? So the kids came up with that question. I didn't come up with that question. They wanted to know. And so instead of just doing something strictly on Remembrance Day, they were talking more about freedoms. But freedom was such a nice backdrop. And the kids were getting used to the idea of, does my piece fit in with the broader spectrum of ideas we're talking about? How does this piece talk about freedom? One of the kids said, do we still have slavery? Do we still have slavery? So they went off and did a piece on child workers and around the world. And you could see where an overriding framework idea can take many different facets but still be part of an overall framework. And in a 2-week exploration, kids with something that they're naturally interested in, freedom, will go off in all kinds of directions. So the first 2 days we call background knowledge. Then my day looks very much like a workshop. The kids come in, they're expected to get in their groups, organize their day, have a meeting, and then whatever the exploration they're working on takes off. And we basically do that for the whole day. But we always leave time at the end of the day to present work that has been completed and ready for public display. So whether it's a written piece or a movie that they've made, or maybe just a drama or something that they've done, a model, they've created something, we reserve time every day so that they have an audience for their work. So it's not just me collecting a set of papers. I'm now watching at the end of a day a show. 6 groups perhaps, that's how I work it in my class. 6 groups, 6 different activities, 6 different presentations. We all look forward to it because at the end of the day we watch a show, and that show is wildly divergent, and it's a great, because the kids love it too. And at the end of every segment of the show, let's say, the kids do what we call positive feedback. So at the end of let's say the first rotation, the kids would have a good sense, okay, I saw that one, I've commented on it, I've made suggestions for further improvement, I've said something nice about it, I've honored the work, but I also want to see it better next time. So the next day, the group that would be presenting would have taken that knowledge, taken that idea, and we see incremental improvement, so that by day 6, where all the rotations are finished, you're seeing some very polished product usually. We often have to have some guiding way to make sure that they know which group they're in. The kids like to name their own groups, so we often put the names up as well as the group members. And then a very simple format is, these are the activities for the day, and which group is doing it on this day, and they can look ahead for tomorrow. So we just roll the groups around. And then what I would do, once the kids have presented that work, to keep an order, I just put a check mark to show that they've presented the piece that they finished. And then this is just, again, this is our math work for the week, so that it's a quick look. They can see what to expect for the week, and then usually some kind of vocabulary.
But I remember before we started, and Pete was talking about how he always felt like he had to be prepared to be sharing all the information. And he doesn't have to do that anymore. He's not the person up front doing all the talking now. So he's able to do that little background planning and then let the kids learn and let them go. So instead of Pete being up front and talking, and the kids probably not really listening after a while, it's that way I think has changed. You don't have to feel like you need to know it all anymore. It's okay to say to the kids, "That's a good question. Let's go figure it out." And it's good for the kids too, because when we first started doing it and the kids would ask us a question and I'd say, "Oh, that's a good question, let's go figure it out," they were looking at me like, "What do you mean? Don't you know it?"
Aren't you going to tell us?
They're just so used to being fed, I think. He's busy. He's never sitting at his desk. He's busy with each and every group and each and every student. So it's a different kind of busyness and helping them move them along. So he's like facilitating, or he's coaching, or he's assessing all the time, and it's a very busy day.